I made a post the other day, and I was talking about how where a man needs to be wanted and a woman wants to be needed, and you know, the response to that was I would say pretty much what I expected in a sense, but I wanted to reiterate some things. The post was not to hyperanalyze what you feel. It wasn't to confirm, although I know it was a confirming, post. I know a lot of men, have reached out and, either about that post or in the past post and was like, yeah, Eric, this is that's exactly right, man. We that's how I feel, and women the same way. Yeah, I want to feel, I need to feel wanted. It's and we talk about it in a way to where, man, if my spouse would ever get that, if I can ever get that across to them, and I totally get it. I totally get it. I totally understand. I don't want to debate that. Not at all. Not at all. That's not why I'm here. But why I am here, while I have your attention, this is what I want you to think. I don't want you to think about yourself. I don't want you to think about how important that is for you, and I don't want you to think about if my spouse would just get this and it'll make it so much better. I don't even want you to do that. And I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not saying that the need to be heard is not important in a relationship. Oh my Lord, it is so important to the success of the relationship. The validation is so important. Man, I was studying gaslighting, and all I was thinking, there was a lot of things I was thinking about, but one of the things that came to my heart was validation, or the need to be validated. So I believe it's important, but that's not what I want. What I want you to do is I want you to take a minute and just think about how important, let me get my words right. What I want you to do is just simply think about your spouse. Yeah, that's what I want. I want you to think about how they feel. I want you to think about what's going on in their head. Because the truth of the matter is, we are different. Oh my Lord, God made us very unique. God made us specific. He made us particularly. Oh man, if we could just tap into the beauty of how different we are. And here's the thing. This is what I see. I see that, God used the blueprint to make man. He used the blueprint to make woman. So there's going to be some things that we are so similar to. But even in all of that similarity, made by the same God, with the same blueprint, with the same mindset, with the same vision, He still took time to make us unique. So what I want you to do, I want you to spend time when you look at your mate. I want you to appreciate that he or she is very unique, very special. They have, and that uniqueness really comes in how they relate to you. And what I'm saying is that men and women are different. We're different for a reason. So when you see a post like a man needs to be wanted and a woman wants to be needed, that is not to high five and say, man, yeah, you got it right. No, that's where you tap into, man. So if my husband needs to be wanted, then what is it that I should be doing in order to facilitate that? I think are you getting where I'm heading with this? Okay, let's try it this way. Let's do the one. So if my wife, if it's important to her, and I understand the importance that she has to feel wanted, I need to take that information and translate it into an actionable event to say, what is it that I can do to make her feel wanted? Oh want to have success, we're going to have to change some things. We're so similar and we're so unique all at the same time. And I'm totally convinced that only a supreme God could have done that. In all the ways that you're different from the other man and different from the other woman, that at the same time, you know, you had the same creator and he created you with a purpose. And then you can look at, and I'm gonna close with this because I gotta get out times. But I'm gonna close with this. Relationships are ending because we're thinking that our spouse should be thinking like I think. I can't make this complicated. I will not make it complicated. I talk to people and they using all these big words and, you know, big phrases that frankly, you know, just make me just blank out. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not capable of doing it and I won't do it. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to tell you just real simple. Relationships are ending because we are expecting our spouse to think like we think. And even though we're made by the same God with the same purpose in mind, you know, we using the same blueprint, we still have to understand that just because I think this way doesn't make the way I think right, especially when you're in a marriage, especially when you're in a relationship with another person. We so much alike and we so different. We're so different. Now, when I look at man and man, I say man and man, you know what? Man, we got a lot of similarities. We think the same way. We act the same way. I mean, you can just pretty much just look at one man and just assume the rest is going to follow in these traits. I get that. And when you look at a woman, a man can say this, man, you know, no matter how different you think you are, you're going to still have some similarities. And man is going to say, you know what? Yep, just like the one before. Yep, just like the one before. But that's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. That is not where the issue is. Because as uniquely as we're made, God still, it was still the same God. And he still had the same purpose. But when we relate to each other, we have to understand, we got to get this part. Just because I feel so passionate about this doesn't mean that we're right.